Hello, everyone. This is Susan Gerbic from Psychics Explained. Tonight, I am going to review the very last video that I plan on reviewing of Lady Phyllis. This is an Operation Dill Pickle. This is going to be a client or a person named Mari. That's the name I'm going to use. I have not reviewed this since I looked at it for the first time when I was attending the gallery reading along with a few other skeptics back in December of 2023. So I do not remember what's going to happen, though I might remember as I go along. We know that Lady Phyllis is cold reading. That is very clear. She does hot read unintentionally because sometimes these people are her clients, her people she's given readings to in the past and the before, and some of them attend her mediumship class. So if they are people she already knows, then that's a form of hot reading. And so the results might be different. She'll say things that are specific that she already knew. And we've already covered a few of those. Now, there's been a lot of information that we've gathered over the last hours of videos that I have done on Lady Phyllis. I have a playlist on my channel, Psychics Explain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This will be the 10th video. So when I give information on a video like this, I can't give every single piece of information because they're covered on a lot of the others. We know that she is Lady Phyllis is a student of Thomas John, the Grief Vampire hot reader. And we know that Lady Phyllis has a clientele. She has a relationship with a lot of her people. She gives in-depth readings that are about 20 minutes long, somewhere 10 to 20 minutes long. So on Lady Phyllis's website, she has a disclaimer saying that this is for entertainment only. And what we're looking for to see is she giving legal advice? Is she giving medical advice? Is she ethical? And is she giving health advice? And if you go through the playlist that I have on YouTube, you will see that she does most of those things. Maybe not the legal stuff, but almost everything else she has hit. And there is absolutely no entertainment value whatsoever in what she's doing. She's manipulating these people, whether they understand that or not. We, as scientific skeptics and people who understand what's going on, can see that these people are being heavily manipulated and it is abusive. We also know that these people may leave the situation feeling like they feel better, they feel like they've been helped, they feel like they've gotten something out of this. And it's hard for people like us to watch that, realizing that they were just lied to. There's nothing but manipulation going on, and that memories are being rewritten whenever she tells them things that are just off the wall. And also that she's giving them false hope and she's giving them advice. It's one thing to have a peer relationship and get advice from your friends or family members, but this is different. This is an argument from authority. This is a person who's communicating with the dead, who's speaking to your family members, who are advising you. We know there's no advice going on other than coming out of the orifices of this medium, Lady Phyllis. Whether she knows she's faking it or not, I don't know. And it's really not that important. She may think sort of she can do it, or maybe she thinks she really can do it. I don't really know. Have a little have a little pity on these people who are grieving, who are raised to believe that this is real, and who just have never even decided, never challenged their the contention that it's not possible to communicate with the dead. Almost all these people believe in life after death. I'm sure they do. So therefore, when you believe in angels and demons and life after death, it's a very small step to belief in communication with the dead. So it's not that odd to somebody who's a believer. To somebody like you or I who are watching this, it is totally alien, and we can't even understand how they cannot see the manipulation, how general it is. But they always leave these readings and telling their family members and friends they just had a reading and there was no way the psychic could have known this information. So it's important for us to bear witness to this. We need to see exactly how the manipulation is happening. We know she's cold reading, and like I say, in some cases, hot reading, but it is how it's happening. What is the way the word play is happening? How is it that she's making these statements that are actually very general, but the sitter, the motivated sitter, goes to their family members and says, I had this very specific reading. She came through with all this evidence. But if you were to look at the video or the audio, which they rarely ever do, if you were to go back and look at it, you would find that it's just vague Barnum statements and vague little statements that might seem personal if you are a motivated sitter that really wants it to be real. So I'm going to show you the last of the readings in this gallery reading that we did in December of 2023 that I've been kind of just sitting on for a long time. This is a 26-minute video. Oh my gosh, this is the longest one of all the readings. I like doing these with you guys because I need the feeling of not being here by myself trying to do this. I've got to get through this video so that I can go and start writing the article that will appear in Skeptical Inquirer. I'd like to get that done so that I can move on to other psychics that I have all queued up and waiting to be analyzed. Some psychics you know, like Matt Fraser, Tyler Henry, and so on, but I need to get through this last one. I will stop and start as I go. When I feel like there's a natural break in there, I'll stop. And also, Lady Phyllis will always stop at a certain point and say, do you have any questions? And that's kind of a good spot to stop. Please take notes. Pencil and paper is what I use. You can use a computer, whatever you want to do, but leave your comments underneath this video. I really would love to have those because a lot of people see things that I'm not seeing. Sometimes I think about it and I realize I realize it later, but I want to be able to include what I can in this article that's outcoming for Skeptical Inquirer. So I'm ready if you're ready. I've got a little tickle in my throat. Let's hope I do well. So thanks for being here with me.
And you were so patient. Oh, I'm sorry it's so late. I know you're wiped out after all those meetings. Okay, Mary Ellen, I am getting a female to the side of you, so I'm going to ask, do you have a sibling that passed, or a female sibling, or a cousin, a friend? Yes. You have a cousin that passed? Yes. Right. And is the name, is there a Joanne or a Jeanette or a Jennifer around that name? That girl? No. Okay. No. But is there a Jennifer or a Jeanette in the family? Is there anyone? No. Okay, so we're gonna leave that, Jane. Okay. I want to talk about your cousin, but you were close with this cousin? Yes, childhood wise, yes. Right. And then you divert, like she went in one direction and you went in the other direction? Actually, I don't know how much information you want, but she passed away when I was 13. Okay, she was 12. She was 12. And what I'm getting from her, not see her, what, like you were close as babies and then you lost touch with each other when she was a little bit older? Because she did show me that kind of separation. Does that make sense? Yes. Yes, we lived on opposite ends of the US, but yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. And we were very close when we would see each other. Right, when you saw each other, like what she's playing to me is the Patty Duke song. We laugh alike, we walk alike, the time.
Yes, yes,
Good theme
yeah.
song.
yes.
So, was it a shock to you when she passed? Because I'm feeling like even if there was something going on with her, I don't feel like you knew anything or you had not expected anything to happen. Was she ill? Was it a sudden onset of a disease that took her? Or it is sudden. I am getting a suddenness to it.
She was decapitated when a drunk driver hit my uncle's car.
Okay, she's not giving me that information. All she says it was sudden, because they don't want to give you that kind of picture, okay?
Okay,
But
okay.
she is
Yeah.
saying it was sudden,
It was sudden and unexpected and traumatic.
right? And did you not, what she is saying, something like you didn't know or they didn't tell you? Is there something about this?
Yes.
She's telling me that that's
Yeah.
why maybe she had been ill and they didn't prepare you. But she's indicating that you didn't know. Whatever the information was, you didn't know anything.
Yes, my mom kept it from us for a little bit. Yeah.
Right, right. So she is saying that you like didn't know and it traumatized you when you did find out. You had a lot of
Yes.
trouble. How
Yeah.
about Christina? Is Christina Christian or Catherine, that kind of K or C sound around this cousin? Is there anybody, Kathy? Is there anybody with that name in the family, living or dead? Kristen, Kathy? If not,
Her brother
is Christian?
is
Christopher?
Christian and it's her half brother.
Okay, did he know her?
Yes.
So she
Yes.
speak with this boy? Well, this man.
Yeah, I mean, they knew each other and he was older because he was from a different,
Really?
yes.
But she says, please let him know that I'm okay. Because it kind of screwed everybody in the family. This was bad. This was like,
It was, it
and
was.
who's the M name around? Oh, you're Mary Ellen, but is there a Marge or a Madeline or I feel like, and this belongs to your mom's generation, Michelle, Madeline, Marge.
Michelle is the name of the cousin of mine that died, that we were
Okay.
very,
So this is Michelle speaking.
this is Michelle,
Right.
yes.
She says to me, I told you we were the same, Mary Ellen, Michelle.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
like, now she keeps playing that theme song. She wants
Yes.
everybody to know. Yeah, I just got like a super case of nausea and the chills. She didn't feel anything. This is really important that
Yes,
everybody. Was your grandmother alive when this happened?
yes, it was very devastating, of course.
What she's
Yeah.
talking about, like, because my whole stomach, I just have a pit in my stomach, like I'm feeling like the whole family was just
Yes,
shocked. And
yes,
I mean, it's not, I mean, it's terrible.
yes.
But
Mhm.
she says, please don't blame the other driver. Like
Right,
she's of
right.
emotion,
Yes,
goodness is divine. Like this is a girl who wouldn't want anyone to hate or blame. Um, and so your
Right.
uncle is your father's brother, or it's your mother and her mother are sisters?
uh, Michelle was on my father's side.
Because I'm picking up it's your father's side. So it was your father and his sister,
His brother.
his
This
brother.
was my, yeah, my father's brother's daughter.
Right. And is your uncle still alive?
No,
I'm
no.
feeling he's on the other side now. And
Yes.
he says it's a big relief. He didn't want to live. That all he
Oh,
wanted
yeah.
to do was,
Oh, of course.
he had no,
Different places in an instant.
yeah. He says, it was a big relief to him when he finally joined her and realized she was whole. And,
Yes.
and,
Yes.
and in
Right.
like the way she should be.
Exactly. Exactly.
But her mother is still alive.
No.
Her mother passed.
Yes. Yes.
Who committed suicide? Somebody committed suicide. Who helped themselves leave?
No one related to me, but somebody I did know when I was in high school.
Yeah, because I feel that
Okay. let's stop. It sounds like she's done with Michelle. That took her forever to get to the name of Michelle, regardless of how many M names she throws out there. Really difficult. Okay. So she didn't pick up on what actually happened. Do you have a female, a sibling, a cousin, a friend, anybody, somebody named Joanne, Jennifer, Jeanette, anyone with a J name? She says, I had a childhood cousin who was a friend. And so this took a little bit for Lady Phyllis to figure out that this was a child who had died, a 12 or 13-year-old died. Because she made it sound like they were adults and that they separated as adults and that they haven't had a lot of contact and then now the cousin had died. This is really messed up to have happened to a young person, Mary, this person who's getting the reading. I'm sure it really messed up the entire family having something like this happen to her. And you saw how she said how it happened, what she gave the visuals of what it was, what it was. So it wasn't just she died in a car accident. No, she has to get graphic and explain it. And that's probably because that's how her family's always talked about it. And there's no reason to be talking about it like that. There's absolutely no reason why we need to have um, our children and spread those kinds of stories of how graphic it was that they died. It's just, I don't know what's wrong with people. So she says her mom didn't tell her right away. Well, no kidding. She's like 13 years old and she was close to the girl and she knew her. Too bad no psychic told him to watch out for this. Huh. Interesting. So Lady Phyllis didn't pick it up either. Not she wasn't even close. She was like it was an illness. Oh my goodness. Okay, so then the little girl Michelle doesn't want to blame the driver. Well, I think we should blame the driver. Um, her father was just a mess after this, and then when he finally dies, he was happy to have died because now he can go to heaven and he can see his little girl as whole. I I don't care for this kind of talk because when you get into these kind of conversations with people and saying like, well, I know you're miserable here on earth right now. Why don't you join me on the other side? Because then you can see how wonderful life is over there and you can be with me that you missed so badly. I don't think it's healthy to be trying to encourage people to hurry up and get to heaven. You can be with your other family members. I don't see that. And then a Christina with a K or a C sound, Kathy, Christian, Christopher, somebody in the family that knew this little girl. So she finally got Christian. Okay, well, that's not hard to believe. This really screwed up the family. Who's got the M name? Marge, Michelle, Madeline, some kind of M name. And then she hit on Michelle, which is the name of the little girl. But she didn't know that, Lady Phyllis didn't know that. Don't blame the other driver. She had to ask, what side of the family is this on? And then Murray says, my dad's side. And then this is a classic. This is a classic psychic move. She asks a question. The sitter responds. And like not even a second later, the medium says, yeah, because that's what he's telling me. Like they knew all along. You didn't know all along. You asked first. You asked what side of the family this is. All right. So then going on, and she thought that the mother might be still alive. No, the mother's dead. Why are you so wrong, Lady Phyllis? There's just so much wrong. Now she's going on about somebody who unalived themselves. And it's not somebody that was in the family, according to Mari, but she's going to say that there was somebody in her high school years or childhood years that did, which is not uncommon, I guess, sadly. So let's see where we go from there. Hope you're still taking notes and you're still with me. Like and subscribe, you guys.
But there's somebody here who left by their own hands.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
did they hang themselves? Cause I
No,
think the neck is, somehow the neck is involved.
yes,
That makes
yes.
you that the neck is involved.
And from the story that we heard, because the family was very tight-lipped at the time, it was with, a gun.
A gun, but whatever they
Yes.
did, it
It's
was,
usually,
yeah, the head area of the neck. They don't like to show you those images, to be honest, like
yes,
you
yeah, I
know,
can understand, I can understand.
Michelle just shows me angels and unicorns, like she's
Oh,
not,
I can believe it, yeah.
yeah. Do you have something of Michelle's? Did your aunt send something for you to, like a keepsake of hers? She's talking about you have something. Do you have something with her handwriting or something of hers that you've held on to?
Yes, I have held on to a picture of us at Yellowstone.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
very,
She's
yeah,
making me teary. I'm getting to
yeah,
like it means a lot to her that you held on to this picture.
yeah,
We
yeah.
were more than cousins. We were like glued to the hip. We were sisters.
Oh, yes, oh,
Yeah.
yes.
And you really meant everything to her.
Yeah,
Uh,
oh, yeah,
yeah. And she's watched over you through the years. She says, and you've known it too. You've known it's her.
yes, yes, I have, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I have.
She wants everybody to know that it was quick and that she didn't even know what had happened.
Oh, yeah, I knew, yeah, that it would have been, yeah,
Yeah, it was
yeah,
instant. Yeah.
yes, yes,
She
yeah.
does say the angels do come and yank you out of your body before you can feel anything. Was there
Oh, yes,
was there rain that night? Because she's showing me rain. She showed
yes.
she showed
Mhm.
me rain and I hear a horn blaring and it was
Yeah,
very quick. Now your mom is here.
no,
Your mom's on the other side,
yes,
and your dad is also on the other side.
yes,
Uh-huh. And I think we go over to let Michelle speak. Your father was here earlier. Your father
yeah.
was here earlier. Oh, you a dad girl?
Go back to Michelle for a moment. Um, for somebody who says that they don't want you to have that image, that horrific image, so they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to show you that horrific image. They're not showing anybody anything. The only person who supposedly is seeing these images is Lady Phyllis. So what is it that she's talking about when she says that when there's these horrific deaths, they don't want to show you that picture. In fact, they may, I guess, lie about it, make something up so that you don't get that image, so that you don't think about it. What? All she's doing, and all of these 10 readings I've listened to, is talk about the graphic end of somebody. The detail, the minute detail of the death, pretty much. She's going into it. So what is she talking about that they don't want to focus on the end and that image? All she's doing here is talking about the end. Again, she's going on about it's ridiculous. And this somebody who unalived themselves about the neck and really and she says, "Oh yeah, they were very tight-lipped about it." Well, that's kind of personal. I mean, she almost was like as if they owed it to tell the other kids how the person died. Yeah, they were really tight-lipped about it. It really isn't any of your business, is it? So I'm not liking this Murray person at all. Um, do you have a keepsake of Michelle's? Well, you notice there was nothing there. So she never said anything. So she says, like a piece of her handwriting. So what does that tell you? Lady Phyllis is going for a letter because they live on the other side of the United States from each other. And they were very close. And they're at that pen pal stage, 12, 13 years old. And she says, do you have a piece of her handwriting? In other words, do you have a letter? And she doesn't have a letter, but she said she's kept this photo of her and her cousin Michelle when they were at Yellowstone. Nowadays, you just make copies of these photos. So I guess she has a physical copy of this thing. I hope she's got made copies of it. She's watching over you. It was quick. Interesting to know that if you're about to die, an angel will come and yank you out so you don't feel any pain. Good to know. All those people who are suffering, tortured, horrible, horrible ends that are excruciating, starvation, illnesses. They're waiting until that second before you die, when of course you're not going to feel anything. Now they're going to yank you out. Why don't they yank you out before you have any pain? Better yet, let's not have us experience it at all. I just don't get it. I'm sorry. I have something in my mouth. It's a cough drop. So I don't have a coughing fit here on you guys. But I hope it's not too distracting. I'm sorry. All right, let's go back.
Are you a daddy's?
Very much so. We did not know each other growing up. When I was growing up, we didn't know each other very much. But very much a daddy's girl when I did get to finally, get to know. Mhm.
I know. And did you keep his slippers?
Yes, yes.
He says,
Mhm.
"Oh, that's so cute," you know.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
tough. He says, "But they stink." But you get,
Yeah.
yeah, he's really touched that you kept them. And
Yes, yeah.
your parents were not together?
No,
Yeah. And did you have sort of not a great relationship with mom?
it was very estranged.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, she's
Yes.
apologizing. And I don't know how to say this, so I'll just spit it out. But I want to say, could there be like some kind of mental illness on your mother's part? Like, was she a little,
Yeah.
mm,
Yes, she
not,
was, yes.
yeah, for lack of anything else, like
And that
bitter,
was part of the estrangement. Yeah,
yeah, bitter and angry, and she
yeah,
wanted to apologize that she didn't do what she should have done to you, for you. She was
yes,
the mother she should have been. But she
yeah,
says, you know what? You turned out pretty good. You
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
that, she says, did it ever
Right.
occur to you that maybe that was our arrangement in this life, that you were going to have certain challenges to make
Yes,
you better than had she been Donna Reed, you know?
exactly. Yes, I am much stronger. Yeah,
But she was difficult. She tells me if you said night, she said day.
exactly.
And she was very critical, undeserving. Uh,
Yes,
you really are a superstar. And she says
yeah,
that she wants you to know that she's
yeah,
so proud of everything you've accomplished. You're a mother, correct?
yes,
She
yes.
says you're a way better mother than she ever was.
I tried, yes.
You don't
It's
try.
good to hear.
She's very proud.
It's good to hear.
And your father's like, I knew that,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So he's just now. Did your father go to your college or a high school graduate? Because he's showing me there's a graduation, and he was there, and it was like a special, like this stands out as a special moment, and I don't know why, but it means more than a lot of other things. Like maybe you hadn't seen him and he showed up or whatever, but this
Yes.
is a special moment that he wants to let you know that he's glad that he followed his instinct. And I kind of say that your mother made a lot of the trouble between.
Yes, there was a lot of jealousy instead of open arms.
Right.
So, yeah, it was my high school graduation. And then he stepped back and didn't really have much to do with me. And then my hygiene school graduation, he was there in full force.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he wants to say that you know, he did what he could given circumstances.
Yes,
He
yes.
didn't make anything easy, you know that. But
No, yes, it was very hard, yes, yeah.
Yeah. Who has the name that starts with the letter A, like Anthony, Albert? I'm getting an A.
There's a letter A on the other side that's passed,
Yeah.
very, very dear to me.
And is that a grandparent?
No, it's the opposite direction.
It's a
It is, yes, I held my grandson as he left this earth.
Okay. You don't look old enough to be a grandma.
Oh, thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
yeah. And he was a newborn, correct?
2 days old.
2 days old. And he was still in the hospital?
Yes, he was still in the hospital. Yeah.
Yeah. He said, now it's your daughter's child?
Yes, yes, it is.
And has she had other children?
Yes, she's got 2 sons living.
Was he first?
No, he was second.
He was second. I'm going to explain, I want to tell you a story because there's no why. How do you explain why to a mother or a grandmother? How do we explain why? How does God let this happen? You know? So
Yeah,
I want you to understand. And I don't know if I told the story because I tell it a lot. When my mom was what do you call it? She was pregnant. She was
yes.
6 months pregnant. Did I tell the story?
No.
Okay. She was 6 months pregnant and her father died and it was traumatic for her. And she kind of was a little unstable and she had a breakdown and she lost the baby. And it was like devastating for her. And
Yeah,
in January, so this was in July, so she either lost that baby in July or August.
mhm,
Then in January, she became pregnant with me. And you
Oh.
see, the thing was, what I've learned subsequently is in order for me to come, I made a deal with my sibling. He wanted to come and be
yes.
here for a minimal amount of time.
Mhm,
And when he left,
yes,
so that I could be here, because we both weren't going to make it. And
Yeah.
had he lived, had he gone full term, I wouldn't be here. So we had a deal.
oh, yes, yes,
This baby, the A name,
yes.
was it Aiden?
That's my oldest grandson, and Archer was the grandson that passed.
I would have never gotten that name, but I got the A. I
Yes,
got the A. And
Yes.
had he stayed, then the younger child, is there a B name there? Is there?
you're
Right.
really close. You're really close. Steve.
Steve?
Yes,
Right?
yeah. Let me know if you need more information or not.
Yeah, no, it's okay. So the thing is, had he stayed, then that child maybe wouldn't have had his chance. So they made a deal and it's
Yes,
mom to know that all he wanted was to feel her heartbeat.
yes,
He paid for to feel, I'm sorry, grandma, but he wanted mom.
yes,
He's that close with mom,
yes.
but he wants you to know that you sent him off with the angels with love and he felt your love.
Okay. Stop. This is so hard to watch. Did you keep, okay, going back to her dad, have you kept his slippers? And she says, yes, I kept his slippers. Remember how I mentioned that these mediums want people to be stuck? They want them to continually have memories of these people and to feel like you can't move on, you can't get past that easily. So hanging on to the slippers, now this woman's never going to get rid of these slippers, right? Never. Um, just from the way she's telling the story, it got, and especially since Lady Phyllis has probably done thousands of readings, it became more and more obvious what was going on about how she said she never got to know her dad and that then she says, well, there was a problem with your mom. And she says, yeah, we were estranged. It was difficult. And then she says, is there some sort of mental illness? And then she says, yes. It all kind of is a pattern. If you've done, like I said, if you've done a lot of readings, you kind of feel that's where it's going. And she wasn't wrong. So she asked a lot of questions again, like, are you a mom? Did your dad go to your graduate? Okay, she made it sound like it was a graduation, and then but kind of was leaving it open to other things. And so yeah, dad went to the graduation, which is kind of typical for a father, and an A name. So now you know that this sitter is going to say that Archer, the A name, came through and she knew she had a grandchild. She's going to make it sound like that's what she said. But you and I both know that's not what she said. She said, am I getting an A name like Anthony or Albert? And then she says, yeah, it was it was a child. She tells her like it was the other way. Because she said, was it a grandparent? She said, no, it was the other way. So it was a grandchild. I don't see how she didn't pick up on that because Lady Phyllis has this thing that if she sees the person back here, then it's a grandfather, grandmother, parent, somebody like that. If they're contemporary, same age as you, brother, sister, friend, a husband, they're right here. She sees them. If they're up here, then it's a younger generation. So how did she get this A name thinking it's back here when it's actually up here? And it was very close. She held the baby as it died. And she says, you don't seem old enough to have a grandchild. In other words, she's cold reading her. She's looking at her and she wouldn't have picked a grandchild that had died because she doesn't look old enough. So she might have picked a child if she had to pick a baby that had died. So that was just cold reading and obvious. Does she have other children? Why do you have to ask these things? How and this whole story about how we explain why, oh my gosh, you guys. So in this pretend world that Lady Phyllis lives in, she believes that I guess spirits are out there somewhere, and her brother, the miscarriage before her, miscarried whenever the baby was 6 months, and that they had a deal. She had a deal with him that she was going to be born, but she let him through for a little bit so that he could at least hear his mother's heartbeat and then die so that she could be the daughter. And she's trying to explain why this other child died, and that because Archer died, the second child, even though Lady Phyllis thought it was the first child. So when the second child, Archer, dies, that allows a child with a C name to come through because apparently they couldn't both be here. And same with Lady Phyllis, her and her brother couldn't both be here at the same time. Interesting facts I didn't even know that was even possible. Wow, this woman is brilliant. Oh my gosh, somebody give her a Nobel Prize for her ability to know these things. Wow, answers a lot of questions. Let's go back.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I can believe.
No, it was an unforgettable moment for both,
Yes.
and he wants you to know that it was
Mhm.
very special. And
Yes.
one day, when
Mhm.
you look into one of your grandchildren's eyes, you're going to see his eyes looking out at you
Oh, I can believe it. Yes.
for an
Mhm.
instant. And please tell mom that when she looks into her children's eyes, she's going to see Archer looking out at them. And I don't
Yes.
think Archer's dad kind of believes in this stuff. I don't think he's so much of a believer,
Yes.
but he says, he sends signs. Did someone do a tattoo of his feet on there? Did someone do a tattoo of do a memorial tattoo of him? That because he's telling me there's a tattoo somewhere in the family.
Um, I will have to ask my daughter. I think she did.
Yeah.
Um, I'm sorry. I
Okay.
should
He
know if
just
my
showed
daughter
us,
gets a tattoo.
but he just showed me a tattoo, and he showed
Yes.
his feet, so it makes me believe that somebody did a. I'm not saying they did, but
Yeah.
it feels like that somebody did a memorial tattoo for him.
Yes. It would have been my daughter. I don't have any tattoos, but it would have been my daughter. Yeah.
Right. So he wants to acknowledge that he knows, and he wants everybody to know that he's there for the holidays. He visits. He spends time with them. He's with his brothers. He says, "Well, like the Three Stooges, you know."
I believe it. Yeah.
This- He
Yeah.
says, "You have to explain what the Three Stooges is to mom," but he says he's with mom and he spends time with mom and dad, and he wants them to know he does all the things that they would want him to do: soccer, play ball, run with kids. He gets dirty. He does all the things that they would want him to do.
Oh, good. Oh,
But
good.
um was it something to do with his heart being too weak? Because what I'm
He,
hearing is that there's a weakness, that he couldn't breathe, or the heart wasn't
yes.
pumping enough.
He had pockets of fluid that was like a congenital defect
He
in
said
it. Yeah.
congenital, but he
Mhm.
was perfect. He says, but I was perfect. Like,
Oh,
yeah,
yes, on the outside, yes.
he was perfect. But he
Yes.
said inside, what he's showing me
Mhm.
is the heart couldn't circulate, like it was like, it couldn't.
Yes.
So
Yes.
showing me that he couldn't, and
Yeah.
he wants you all to know. Now, are you with your husband, who's the grandfather of this child?
Um, yes, well, no, I am not. The biological grandfather of this child, I am not with.
But you're with somebody who would feel like he was his grandfather,
Yes.
because he's
Yes.
acknowledging him. I know somehow I
Yes.
knew it wasn't baby's daddy. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Baby's
Yes.
daddy, but
Yes.
um, he acknowledges your husband as his grandfather, and he says, please tell him that I'm around him too. Now, does your husband fish? Is he a fisherman? So who's the fisherman in the
Oh,
family?
he does love to fish. He doesn't fish enough, but he loves to fish.
When he fishes, this child is with him.
Mhm.
So
That's
he
good to know.
knows that he
Yes,
goes.
and yeah, yeah.
And is the father into football? The father of this child?
Um, as far as no, he is not really into football.
Because he's showing me a green football jersey. I don't know why. I
Okay.
have to show you green, so I don't. And it's not
Yes,
green. I'm in New York, and that's the Jets, and it's a different kind of color green. So I don't know what the significance of that is, but
I will ask my daughter for sure on that one
right,
for that.
right.
Yes.
Maybe one of the other kids is playing football, and the jersey is green. But he shows me he wants his father to know that he's around him too. Um,
Okay.
Do they have
Yes.
something hanging in the car, like his shoes or something? Like they're showing me something dangling from the rear view mirror. Like I don't know if it's something
Yes.
of his.
For a while afterwards, after his passing, I think they did have like maybe some shoes, from the rearview mirror.
Yeah, that's he's showing me that
Yes.
that
Yes.
had that. So
Yes.
I want you to know he's fine. Michelle is fine.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
they're in the bosom of family. They've got, grandma, great grandma, Nana, whatever. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's Nana, whatever, but
Mhm.
that I hear that, and they celebrate with the family. Anything that goes on, they're front and center. And your cousin wants you to know she always walks beside you.
Oh, that's always good to know. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I'm sorry for your losses.
That's okay. I'll see them again for sure. And
Yeah.
I just got one more question, if you don't mind, because I know it's late. Um, Is there any advice? I'm going through some turmoil right now. Is there any advice that is being filtered through that you can give me?
Father says,
Okay, so let's stop for a second because we're about to get to questions. A lot of information about this baby Archer who seems to have done amazing things. He's now playing games over in heaven. I guess he's an adult. He's able to he's a high achiever. You're going to be able to look through his eyes. He's going to come through his brother's eyes. Something about a tattoo, possibly a baby feet or a memorial to him. That's very common for people to do that. People who get tattoos often get tattoos in memorial of somebody, and a baby that died after 2 days seems like it'd be somebody that they would memorialize. Baby feet, that wouldn't be all that unusual. He does all these things in heaven, and then she starts in with a heart problem. I guess that's kind of common for a newborn that's actually born, that maybe that would be what ends their life is a heart thing. But then, so the sitter isn't really going there, so she just goes, "Oh, well, it's probably breathing." And then the baby's talking. Apparently, the baby's learned how to talk because the baby's running around heaven and is telling things and talking things and is around everybody and helping everybody out. A husband that fishes, who would ever heard of that? My gosh, no way. I don't know of anybody who would ever have a husband that would fish. When he fishes, that tends to be when the child is with him, not because he's the actual biological grandfather of this child, but he is somebody that he knew, even though he probably didn't know him considering the baby died at 2 days. But whatever, just make it up. It's fine. Something about football, but her husband's not into football. Something about a green football jersey, but not really a green, not the same kind of green, a different kind of green, whatever that is. Just tell us the name of it. Something hanging in the car, maybe something that shoes. I don't know how the baby had shoes when it was only 2 days old, but he had an older brother. Maybe they were going to, I mean, if you have an older brother, did you need to buy brand new shoes for a brand new baby? Well, maybe, I don't know. Oh my gosh. So we're getting to the questions now. This is where it's really going to get interesting. What is the question she's going to ask? I'm writing it down. Let's find out. This is the end. Oh my gosh. Last reading of the year or of Lady Teresa or Lady Phyllis. Getting tired.
you have to have patience. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's marital. I don't know if it's job. I know that your life, what they're showing me is imbalanced. What they're
Yes,
showing me is like almost as though there's a circle and there's a board and you're standing and you can't find your footing. Uh,
yes.
I know it's not health. It doesn't feel like it's health related.
No,
Um,
it's not.
yeah,
It's yeah,
it, it feels like it's related to your personal life. And
yes. Mhm.
was your father a religious man?
Uh, he wasn't conventionally religious, but he believes in quantum physics, reincarnation, and very metaphysical
I'm going
type
to
of.
tell you what he said because
Mhm,
it came out of left field. He
mhm.
said, "Pray on it,
What now?
pray on it,
Pray
like
on it.
pray on it." And he
Yes.
says, "Pray on it, and you will get your," because it didn't feel like it matched the man. Um,
No, it wouldn't. It
yeah,
wouldn't.
and that's why I asked if he was religious because he doesn't feel religious. And he says, pray on it, and the answer will come and bring you peace and follow your gut. Do you remember what I told the other young lady about reading? You read it out
Maybe.
loud, and read it
Yes.
with your mouth closed. That's how the answers come to you. That's what it sounds like, that voice. That's your
Okay.
spirit guide, that's your parents, that's your that's where it comes from. So
Yes.
for that voice,
Yes.
but he wants you to pray and you'll get
Yes.
your answer. He believes in that.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I appreciate your help with this.
Oh, listen, I wish
Yeah.
easy, just get off slowly. You know,
Yes.
with the old
Yes.
hips, grandmas have to worry about hips.
That's
So
right.
get
That's
off
right.
that board slowly.
Yes.
You gotta weigh your options and
Yes.
figure whether it's worth it.
Yes. Yes.
He does say it's six of one and a half dozen of another. Like there's not like whatever it is you're looking at being a problem, you have to look at what the alternative is. And I kind of get the feeling like shit here, shit there, it doesn't make a difference. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. Either way. Either
Either
way.
way, either way, you're kind of screwed. So you might as well
Yeah.
just sit back and enjoy the show.
Yeah.
So
Pick your poison
pick your
and
point. Exactly.
yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. I posted something on Facebook the other day. It said this store said shit, and then the other door said the other shit. And that's
Yes.
exactly what it is. You know, it's not like there's something better on the horizon. It is what it is. That's real life. It's about coping. And
Yes. Yes. It is about coping for sure. Yes. Most definitely.
I hope I helped you.
You did tremendously. I appreciate your help so much. Have a good night. Rest up. Thank
Everybody.
you, Phyllis. All right.
You're
Bye.
welcome. Bye bye.
Okay, so oops, she helped her. How did she help her? What was it that she told her? Did she give her any kind of anything? Let's look and see. So she doesn't tell her what it is. There's something wrong and she needs advice. And so her advice is that the father says to pray on it. That's help. And the father is not really religious, but he believes in metaphysics and all sorts of woo-woo stuff. Now, this was interesting. She mentioned this in the other reading, and I didn't say anything at the time, but this idea of saying the word in your mind, mediumship. And that's how it sounds. And that is the voice of the person who's your dead loved one. So that's the sound of their voice, which you hear in your head when you think the word. I'm not sure that making any sense. Okay, let me think. How am I supposed to know which person is giving me that? Whose voice is that? It sounds a lot like, I guess, what my voice would sound like if I was thinking. How do you know whose voice it is? I guess whoever it is that you're supposed to be thinking about, whose voice it should be. And if I'm thinking about somebody else right now, why does the voice sound the same? Susan, you just can't do this kind of stuff, can you? No, it's just not there. So she said she was a very big help by saying it is what it is. So what do you think? Was there anything on there? Okay, was there anything? Was that entertainment? Certainly not. Not with all the graphic stuff. That was definitely not entertainment. Was it helpful? Well, I'm sure the sitter thinks it's helpful. Was it actually helpful? I don't think so. They don't want to give you images that are really unpleasant to think about, yet she can't stop talking about these images. She asked if there was any handwriting that she had of her cousin Michelle. Of course, she didn't get the name Michelle. She just threw out the name Michelle, and that's what this person hit on. A photo of them together at Yellowstone. Angels yank you out before you die. She has her dad's slippers. Oh, maybe that's accurate. She asked her, do you still have your dad's slippers? And she said, yes. She might have everything of her dad's. Who knows? And she's got his whole wardrobe there. But, or maybe she got rid of everything but the slippers. Maybe that's accurate. I got nothing. So we got 10 readings. It has taken me forever to get through these 10 readings. It's about an hour each. So, that's a lot of readings. lot of time. I'm really tired. I did 3 today. And I can't imagine what it's like to be Lady Phyllis and having to do this for 3 hours on her own with one person after the other and trying to stay sharp. She does pretty good, where she remembers names and things. Usually she is a little confused at times, but for the most part, she does pretty good. But I don't know. Um, I guess people like talking to her, or maybe not, because she doesn't really have that many people. I didn't have any problem getting 2 appointments in this gallery reading almost at the last minute. I'm just not seeing anything in this woman's ability to do anything. 10 readings, and I think the only thing she got right was a woman she had talked to said, she asked her if she had dogs, and she said no. And she said, I had a dog when I was young. And she says, was it a big, dark dog? And she says, yes, it was a dark Labrador, big dog. That's the only thing out of 10 readings I think I heard her say that even could remotely be considered a hit, except maybe that you kept your dad's slippers. Evidence of mediumship? I don't think so. No. Evidence of help? No. Was there anything in this reading specifically that was legal, medical, or financial? I don't think so. Legal, medical. I don't know. I don't think so. I think also listening to all 10 of these readings, I think she's got a thing for illness and death and the decay of life. I mean, she just seems to be, I think she's got some problems. She really gets into it and then she just lays it on thick. Oh, well, if you're gonna do that kind of medication, then it's gonna be a problem because you're gonna end up having, she just does that. Legal, medical, finances. Do you see anything financial in this one? No. So maybe when she's a little tired and she's kind of at the end of her day, she doesn't hit on all the things like she did, but she did. These people get their money's worth as far as quantity of time with them. Hiccups. So if you just want somebody to talk to, it sounds like they could be your peer, give you advice like your friends would give you. This might be a good person to call up, keeping in mind she's just giving you whatever information. There's nothing to this. Nothing more than that. All right, so if you've made it through this whole video, I really appreciate it. Like and share. Just so much, right? It's tiring, draining. I'm going to sleep well tonight, that's for sure. Please like, share, and leave me all the comments you can possibly think of because that really helps me. And I'm going to start writing up this article real soon. Thanks, everyone.